So press Control-0 on Windows or Command-0 on the Mac to set the view to fit in window. And now, because we're going to work with color a lot in this lesson, let's go ahead and tear off a couple of these panels and make a new panel group. I'll start by grabbing the Swatches panel. I'll also grab the Color panel and the Gradient panel. So I'll dock these together top to bottom, just clicking the Color tab and hovering over the bottom there until I get that highlight. And I'll do the same thing with the Gradient panel. Now we can move these all as a group, which is very convenient. And now let's select this large blue frame here in the background and look at selecting and applying color. Now over here in the Control panel we have a couple different sets of controls. Right now you can see my cyan, magenta, yellow, and black mixers. Now there are different color editing modes, so choose the panel menu here. You can choose color in the lab space, CMYK, as well as RGB. Now, virtually all of the work that you're going to do in InDesign is going to be for professional print output. So with that in mind, I suggest you virtually always leave CMYK to be the default. Now also here in the panel menu, you should notice the hide options. Sometimes you just see this small color ramp. If that's what you're seeing, make sure you choose Show Options. That will show more options so that you can see the color ramp and all of the sliders together. Now make sure that this blue rectangle is selected. Make sure that you have the fill attribute selected here in the foreground. And now make sure you're also in the CMYK mode, and you can start clicking around the color ramp and applying new colors. You can also play with the sliders if you'd like to think of color in those terms. And if you have a specific CMYK mix that you'd like to achieve, you can type those numbers here in the percent fields. If you'd like to set the fill of this object to none, you can just click the None swatch here on the left-hand side. You can set it to black and white just with a click. And again, you can always mix these colors however you see fit. Now remember, right now we're mixing CMYK, which is for print. Let me just point out some of the differences. If you did want to mix colors in RGB, and you grabbed a color, for example, a bright green like this, you see this icon right here, this yellow warning sign? That is telling you, if you hover your cursor over that, you'll see in the tooltip that this color is out of gamut. That means this color is too bright to print with 4-color process ink. So if you'd like to snap that to the closest printable green, just click this icon. Now that's a pretty significant change in color. So instead of mixing color in RGB and then having to shift it to another color, again, go ahead and do all of your work in CMYK. So notice that we've mixed the color, assigned it to our object, but it's not available here in the swatches palette. That's the next step.